Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 269 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Josh from Soft Goods in Michigan. Let's go!
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Dylan. I'm the owner of Upstate Merch and the host of the Shirt Show podcast. I got the opportunity today to talk with Josh York from Soft Goods. They are a apparel manufacturer, all made here in the USA. They are made in Detroit. He used to be a screen printer, turned into a apparel maker. He's making tees, hoodies, all kinds of things, all right there in Detroit with USA made products. It was really fun and awesome to talk to him. Me and Josh hit it off. We got into so many things, what it was like to start this company, what he's done, what he's gotten into, why things are the way they are. We talked about social media stuff for a long time. We talked about what it is to make apparel, especially in the US, the whole tariff thing. It was a really fun, interesting episode, something a little different than just talking to a screen printing shop. So it was really good. If you enjoy this show, the best thing you can do to support us is to share us on social media. Send a story of where you're listening to the episode, tag us, like, subscribe on YouTube, all those things. It means the world to the show. It helps us grow. It helps other people find out. So if you could do that for me, I really appreciate it. I am picking a person every week who shares something and just sending them to some free Shirt Show swag or just some random shit I have in my office. So if you could do that for me, it would mean a lot. If you do want to dive deeper into these episodes and just hear from me, I do have a weekly newsletter now. I send them out. I'm not guaranteed on what day you're going to get it, but you will get one every week. So if you want to check that out, go to shirtshowofficial.com/newsletter. And it's from me. I will talk about a little bit of what's going on here at my shop, what's going on in my life. I will recap the episode that we just did, adding new things every week. I've got tech tips from John McGee going in. I've got shop hacks. I've got memes, all kinds of things in there. So if you want to sign up, it's totally free. It's just a cool thing we're adding. Again, it's shirtshowofficial.com/newsletter. This show would not be possible without our amazing partners. Frank. It all starts with a screen. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or ffffrank.com. The best screens out there. That's why his website is greatfuckingscreens.com. They are the best. Quit messing around. Get the best tool for the job. That is Graphic Screen Fashion. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Right now is a great time to check them out because they are doing a new monthly giveaway where you have a chance to win $250 in product credit. Head over to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. EasyWay is the easiest way. Graphics is your source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check them out at graphxsource.com. Also, amazing digitizers, and they do sew-outs, and they did stuff for NASA. That tells you enough that you should use them. SNS is your premier partner in the apparel industry with one website, one purchase order, and 14 distribution centers and over 100 beloved brands. You can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. Today's episode is brought to you by American Apparel, makers of the iconic 2001. Soft, fitted, and always in style. This shirt has been the go-to for brands, bands, and print shops for decades. If you want a shirt that people actually want to wear, start with the iconic 2001. For over 90 years, Stahls has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate our industry on all things heat press. Head over to stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. One of the best educational online resources for heat pressing is Stahls by far. Great people, great products. Check them out. Our buddies Ryan always have been that solid go-to resource for screen printers. Not only are their supplies super reliable, but their network of education and support is next level. Whether you're figuring things out or fine tuning your process, they've got your back. Check them out at screenprinting.com. Great dudes. I do want to say, if you're listening to this show and you don't already, maybe you should go check out the Discord channel that we have. It is a community of printers, embroiderers from all over the place. You can get in there and there's no judgment. Nobody is questioning your questions and saying you're an idiot. We police it. We make sure that if anybody's going to be a troll, they are not allowed in there anymore. It is an amazing group of human beings that always have your back. So if you want to join, it's shirtshowofficial.com/Discord. Again, it's totally free. You can have it on your computer. You can have the app on your phone. Just get in there. There's all kinds of channels for everything you're into and stuff for sale as well. So get on there, check it out. It's a great community. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for sharing if you did. Thumbs up on YouTube. It means the world to me. I love doing this show, and I have a lot more rad shit to come. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the episode. Hey, man. We're here. How's it going?
Good. Worked through our technical challenges. We're ready.
I know. You had them. I had them. Whatever. We're good. We're here. To the people listening, we might have some noises in the background, but hey, he's in the middle of working, and it's what we got to do. Everyone should get it.
Sewing machines are louder than screen presses, I think.
Yeah, they are. I got the opportunity to visit a giant facility when I went to Honduras to visit Gildan, and that was an insane thing to see and hear and whatever. Just see all these different machines and how people do it. It's crazy.
I bet that's a whole other level. I would love to see that. I've been fortunate enough to visit a lot of different factories, but I bet that's like the mecca of them all.
I know. Well, you go to one of them and they're like, yeah, this is just one of many buildings. And you're like, oh my God. It was crazy impressive though. It definitely changed my perspective and changed my, just my world, being in this industry. And then you go to a place and see how the sausage is made basically. And it makes you're like, oh, now I understand what goes into making these garments that I print on every day. So I don't know. It's wild.
And I've heard that that facility down there is like a leader, best in class of like water recycling, and they're doing good things with garment manufacturing, not just like better, not less bad things. They're actually being proactive and really having a positive approach on their surroundings, which is really cool.
They have a lot of the recycling stuff. We went to the, I'm going to botch this now because it's been a while, but they have this giant, recycling thing where all of the waste from the facility, everything all gets, consumed. And that's what heats the buildings and, runs heats the water for all the dye processes and everything. And it's crazy, how they can use all the scraps from everything to keep the shop running. And then they have all these water ponds where all the water gets recycled, and there's all this wildlife that lives there because of how good the water is and everything. It's crazy. It definitely, again, it's super different than what you think. You know what I mean? You can hear these things and be like, oh, that's one thing, but then going there and seeing everything is insane. Of oh yeah, this rules. This is super cool.
Yeah, everybody trashes on Gildan, but they're doing something right. They're actually way better than so many other brands out there.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I don't know what I can say and can't say, but it's also there's a ton of brands that they make that people don't really realize. And it's you're ragging on something, but this other thing is actually made by them too. So how about you shut up?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought it was a really cool experience, but, so you kind of have something different. We normally have printers on the show and, we have manufacturers and whatever. And you kind of had a really cool story. I saw you guys on Instagram kind of telling your story a little bit, how you're in Detroit and all these other things. But what made you I want to get into your backstory, I guess. So tell me how you got involved in any of this, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. First off, I just want to say this before we get too far, but I used to listen to this show avidly when I was screen printing more heavily, and took a little bit of I've been on audiobooks and music and listening to different things, but I circled back and watched some episodes right before we were chatting here, and I realized that the last episode you had another long-haired guy with a Tigers hat on, Brad.
Yeah,
or that's his photo at least. So I should have dressed a little differently today, but.
No, it was perfect. It's
Anyway.
the only kind of person we talk to. You have to fit that vibe in order to be on the show.
Yeah. But I've been making t-shirts since I was 12 years old. I used to make iron-ons at the kitchen table. My mom would help me. I would go do graphic design on PowerPoint. I would print out a transfer from Michaels, and my mom would help me cut them out, iron them on, and I would sell them at school. And I
What were they generally?
my big popular one was the Chiquita banana sticker. I would put dirty slogans on that and sell them at school. And that was like the most popular one, but just dumb stuff, whatever I was into as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And that continued to just evolve. My cousin played in a band and they made merch, and I thought that was the coolest t-shirt ever. I still have it, even though it doesn't fit me. And I just always liked t-shirts. It was a cool medium to tell your story. And in college, I was playing drums in a band. I bought a screen press, a simple Ryanette starter kit, and taught myself to screen print in my parents' basement. Took some band and school merch jobs, and I went to Michigan State for supply chain management. So I went super corporate. I was working at Grainger, at Boeing, really like corporate supply chain jobs, and just wasn't really loving it. How
do you go from, I guess, what was your goal? Like, what was your dream to get into that industry? Was it to work for something like Boeing, or was it just to get involved in manufacturing?
So I mean, neither really. I had this passion of like making stuff and screen printing out of my basement, my parents' basement. And, but then I would go to college and all my friends were getting these corporate jobs. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to go live in Seattle, all expenses paid for a summer. That sounds incredible. And then I would get there and I'd be like, oh boy, I'm glad there's an end date to this. This just isn't my thing. Phenomenal company to work for. They treated me well, but, so my role out of college would have been buying wing screws for airplane wingtips at Boeing. Instead, I took the same job at Abercrombie and Fitch, and I was buying Hollister boys underwear, 6 million pairs of underwear a year.
So you're choosing screws for airplane wingtips or boys underwear.
Yeah, that was kind of the path. Like that, those were. My thought was, I can work for A&F and at least be closer to what I want to be doing. I think this is the industry I want to be in, and I can still use that degree and just kind of blend the two worlds. And a year into that job, I wasn't having it. I left a year exactly in and decided to go at it.
The cool thing about working in a company like that, though, is you had to have taken some things from that. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're doing this one thing doesn't mean you're not hearing or seeing other things happening, right?
Totally. Yeah. And it ended up being a huge, I mean, taking that job at Abercrombie was a big pay cut from my other career opportunities, but it was more of what I wanted to be doing. And 8 years later, it was the best decision I ever made. It's been so many connections and business opportunities have come from that experience. So, it was really great. It taught me how to do, like, I was managing production of, like I said, 6 million pairs of underwear for a big apparel business.
Right.
When I left, I called myself an entrepreneur, but I still went to my corporate job every day, and I was still screen printing and making clothes in the background. And at some point just decided I need to put my money where my mouth is and try this out.
Right.
Left that job and I was still screen printing. Ultimately, where this story ends is I was really bad at screen printing and embroidery. I messed up a ton of shirts and realized I should outsource that to people that are better at it than I am. But the vision leaving A&F was to open a garment factory in Detroit. I was just excited to be part of what was going on here in the city where I kind of grew up in the suburbs, and no one was making clothes here really at scale. And I thought it would be I've been screen printing. I could sew a little bit. Like, I'm just going to dive in and figure out how to make t-shirts. And
when you had the screen printing place, did you, because I know shops that do this where they dive a little bit into like cut and sew, or they're like taking garments and like cutting them in half and splicing them together and doing all these crazy things. Is that kind of how you got your feet wet with it a little bit? Or were you just like, I'm done with screen printing, I'm just going to start making garments? Like, there has to be like a transition into the other one.
I jumped ahead there for sure, but it was really that path exactly. We were cutting them down the middle and swapping the different colors, that kind of stuff. We were actually running a brand at the time. We opened up a store at the mall and we were just printing Detroit themed shirts, and we were doing a 1-for-1 thing with donating to homeless shelters and volunteering, and it was that kind of a
That's awesome.
brand. But I realized quickly, like, there's a million other brands that do the same exact thing. We're all printing on Bella canvas, and the Anvil camo tee at the time was huge. Independent IND 4000 hoodie, like we were all just putting different fonts of Detroit on that sweatshirt or whatever city. And no shame to that. Like it was a good business. It was fun. It got my foot in the door, but I really wanted to do something different and like be actually able to differentiate ourselves. And that was where we bought 3 sewing machines and a cutting table and I started making a t-shirt every single day. I cut one out and sewed it poorly for a couple months and eventually slowly figured it out.
Well, I had a discussion with somebody the other day who is a friend of mine who's near me, and he has a completely different business. Like his thing is like, they're called Cleaner Supply, and they sell to like every laundromat, like everywhere. Like they're massive. Like when me and him first started talking, I thought it was this like little warehouse. You go there, it's like fucking Amazon. It's like huge facility. They do all this stuff. And we got to talking because like part of their business is like they print on these laundry bags. So they have like a whole screen printing shop in their facility where they do nothing but like produce and print on these laundry bags. And he got talking about how there was this guy who basically was like, well, some customer of his, they were basically like, you know, well, I can get these bags produced for X. Like, why would I order from you? And it's like, I got talking to him and I was like, it's the same in my industry. Like people are like, well, why would I buy this, you know, independent or whatever item when I can get these produced? Like I can go on Alibaba and I can find a manufacturer and I can whatever. I was like, that's not the average place. Like that's not like no one's going to be like, I need 100 shirts and then source their own material and like get out. I was like, this guy might be doing a huge number of stuff and it makes sense for him to get his own bag produced in China or whatever and get it printed. He's like, well, I can do it over there for 85 cents. It's like, well, then fucking go get it done for 85 cents. Like you have to deal with all the headaches. You have to do with all the sourcing. You have to do all these things. And I was just kind of like reeled it down a little bit for him and was like, don't worry about that guy. Like, fuck that guy. Like, don't be a dick to him, but just be like, all right, cool. Go do your own thing. Like, that's not your customer. So like, were you thinking that at some point? Because every shop owner has thought that at some point. Like, I wonder if I could source my own blanks. And like, for me, I could have like upstate merch tees where I like have everything labeled and then all of my customers print on those specific tees. But I don't want to. Like, I don't have that itch to go through the whole process, order like 10,000 black shirts at a time or something, and then go through that. Like, was that your thinking a little bit when you first started sewing stuff together? Is like, well, what if I made my own blank that stood out differently from, like you were saying, like the Bella, the Independent, the whatever? Like, I want my own core, like this is my shirt, and then put Detroit on it.
I think everybody starting a business goes through that because you see like, oh wait, if I can save some money, I'll go do that. Then you realize that's a whole other can of worms that's not actually saving you money, that's costing you more. Or you know, all those opportunities. Like there's so much that you could do, and only through, in my opinion, only through experience, you figure out like I can do this, but I'm going to focus on this because that's actually what I do. So that was absolutely it. We were going to make our version of the Detroit made blank t-shirt, sell it for our brand, also offer it to local other businesses. And then eventually our brand stopped during COVID. Our store shut down like so many others, and we just were finding more luck on the manufacturing side. And we tried to just become a blanks company. Like we were going to try to compete with LA Apparel and Bayside and the USA made market, and realized quickly that takes a lot of money. You have to have scale to be able to be at all competitive. And we just, we weren't going to go raise 20 million to open up a massive factory and scale. That just wasn't the business that we wanted to run. And so rather than trying to do commodity, lower price garments and compete on price, we just went the opposite direction. And so let's make the best possible garment we can make and sell it for what it costs and see how it gets received. And fortunately, I think that was the right move because 3 or 4 years later, like we finally, at the beginning, it was like, hey, this is twice the cost, but let me tell you how much better it is, and let me convince you. And nowadays the market has continued to move, and now people understand that's just like a different tier that we're trying to sell to, and I think people are more comfortable with that. Be curious your thoughts, because I'm sure you always have customers that want something more expensive or higher end. Do you come across that?
I think I can't remember where I saw it or read it or something. It was just, it's like that Starbucks method. You know what I mean? Of like, is their coffee really that much better than Dunkin' or whatever? But it's like people feel like they are better or doing the right thing or whatever it is when they spend $8 on a cup of coffee from Starbucks versus coffee at home or coffee at Dunkin' or something. It's like that perceived value of like, you know, well, my product's going to be better because I paid 3 times the amount for it or something. And it's like when they put like weights in a remote or something where it's like, well, it's heavier, so it must be worth more kind of thing. But the cool thing that you have though is you have the reasons why it's better. You know what I mean? It's not just expensive because it's expensive. I saw a thing, I'm getting off topic, but I saw a thing earlier that was like Balenciaga or something came out with a new skirt or something, but it just looks like men's boxers. And the person is like, why the fuck would I spend X amount of dollars on these boxer? Like, I'll just go wear Hanes boxers. But it's just because it's this like perceived value because it says Balenciaga on it or something that's probably like $900 pair of boxer briefs. And it's just like, the cool thing from like looking into your guys' company is like, oh, you know, well, we're making it in Detroit and we're using like premium products and we're doing this and doing that. It's kind of like, well, you have something to back up why it is what it is rather than just being like, well, we think we have a cool name, so pay 4x the price or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I would be more apt to buy that product.
Yeah, there's different tiers. Like, you know, I think a t-shirt is one of the most fascinating items because you can buy a t-shirt for $3 or you can buy a t-shirt for $3,000. And the difference between them, the $3,000 t-shirt, odds are, is going to be a lot better. But is it 1,000 times better? It's probably
it's not that, it can't be that much better.
Yeah, the product that we make under this roof, people sell our fleece anywhere from, people will retail it at $80 for a crew neck. So let's say a hoodie. People will retail it as low as $85, $90. And there's a brand that sells our hoodie for $900. And it's modified. There's more going on, but like at the core, it's American cotton, cut and sewn in Detroit. You know, the fabric's a little heavier, but it's really not that much of a difference. It's just about the brand you build and the story you tell, and can you justify that cost? And it's wild to watch, like seeing both ways.
The cool thing is that you found customers for that. You know what I mean? Like, you're not catering to the person who wants 24 shirts for a family reunion or something. Like, you're like, no, this is for like brands that are trying to do a premium product.
And we built our business so that we can sell to both. And that was something when I was screen printing blanks, I wanted to use my Abercrombie knowledge of like, I know how stuff's made. Let me go straight to the factory. And like you mentioned earlier, I hit roadblock after roadblock. It's not set up for people like that to do small quantities. But I wondered, like, why couldn't it be? So we actually, majority of the product we make is actually PFD, prepared for dye. It's cream colored cotton fabric, cream colored thread. We use a label that doesn't dye. So all of our garments, you can garment dye, and we do garment dyeing as low as basically as minimum units as you want. We can get a custom color. So if you want to get 24 t-shirts for your family reunion in your own custom color, we'll do it. You're just going to pay a premium for it, but we offer that service. And so that lets us serve random guy that wants small quantities, or we can bring the cost way down and, you know, buy it at scale and you know, produce it like a normal factory.
That's pretty awesome though. When you first started doing making the garments, did you go down that route of like, well, let me see if I can get these made overseas first? Or were you just 100% from the beginning, like, let's try to make these here and see what happens?
It was really 100%. Let's make it here, but not for the reasons of like, let's make it in America because we're Americana and yada yada. Like it was just, it's hard to get a contact overseas and get fabric. Whereas I was able to go meet the fabric guy in New York and go to his office. And he actually didn't sell to me at the beginning. I was too small for his time, but I wore him down. And, you know, proximity, like our lead time on fabric, we have a great relationship with all of our suppliers, and, you know, we can get thread in 2 days, any color we want. You know, we have a certain set of in stock. We have 10,000 yards of fleece at any given time sitting on the shelf at our mill in North Carolina, and we have different colors, and we can have that ship and it's there in 2 days. Like we can be super flexible and move really, really quickly on projects because we have a local supply chain. And it's more expensive for that reason. But like you said, there's a section of the market that we've found that like that speed is more important than, you know, lowest cost for certain
Right.
customers. And that's where we've hit our sweet spot.
That's awesome. Also, I can cut this out of the episode or not. I'm just curious because I feel like everybody does that when they think about making a shirt is like, well, I really like the collar on this Bella shirt. I really like the length on this, you know, AS color shirt. I really like the whatever. Like, did you have inspiration when you made it, or were you just like winging it as far as like, well, I want it to be this length. I want the collar to be tight, or I want it to be loose. Like, what was your inspiration for these garments?
Yeah. In clothing, really, like no one's really reinventing the wheel a whole lot nowadays. We really, I think that honestly, the first block that we went off of was a Comfort Colors t-shirt. And then we made it a little bit longer, or no, a little bit shorter, actually. This was 8 years ago. Made it a little bit shorter. We made the collar a little bit thicker, like the collar band.
Mm-hmm.
We had a local person make patterns because I was clueless about
that's really popular right now. I guess I've seen a lot of samples come my way from different brands where they're getting like super thick, tall collars.
Yeah, and t-shirts, like I said, no one's really reinventing the wheel. T-shirts are, we basically offer 4 cuts of t-shirt in 4 different fabrics, and everyone thinks they want to, you know, really, I got the perfect t-shirt. Like, that doesn't exist. Well, how do you want to tweak it? You can make it longer, you can make it wider, you can change the sleeve or the collar, but there's really only so many levers you can pull, and just getting different combos of that. So yeah, that is more and more popular right now that we're seeing as well.
But you also can't make everybody happy either, because it's like, I have a different body type than you have and someone else. And it's like, it doesn't mean that you or somebody else doesn't make a awesome shirt. It's just, it doesn't fit my body. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I might love a Bella 3001 or a Gildan hammer tee or something, and it's like, that's cool, I love it for my customers, but it doesn't fit my body. Like, like a 1717, like it fits me. It's, you know, me and Christina went to a show the other day. We went to PD USA in New York and watched him play, and I saw they were on Comfort Colors, and I was like, sweet, buying it. Like, I get a shirt from him, and it actually is a shirt I like and fits me. So I don't know, like you kind of have to pick something that you think is going to work, I guess, for more like the broad spectrum of human instead of like just a certain body type of human, I guess. Is that a decision factor for you?
Very much so. Yeah. And I agree with you. Like, everyone's got a different definition of what their perfect fit is, and you're not going to appeal to everyone, and it is what it is. And that's a hard lesson to learn too, I feel like, when you're starting out, because you just want to take whatever you can possibly get sale wise. And in our world, like, we could go down a rabbit hole every single time of coming up with a new pattern and a new fit, and it's a lot of times that customer is not even going to come through and buy, you know. So
it's the same. It's the same with us when you do a clothing line or something, or do a brand, and people will comment like, oh, I really wish you had 4X. I really wish you had this. And then you make them on the next run and they just never buy it.
No buy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, why did I even bother going through this trouble? When you were making,
tricky.
Yeah. When you were making these garments in the beginning, and I guess even now, like how much attention do you put to the garment for, say, printers or apparel decorators? Like, are you like, well, the printability of this fabric versus this, or is that not really your end user as much?
It's changing. We're doing less and less. We're actually moving towards our own brand because we've been making so many great garments for every other brand and then just handing it off and they do what they want with it. And we don't always like that. And we put so much R&D into our product that it feels wrong to just hand it off to some random kid on the internet who's
And they
starting a
relabeled
streetwear
it.
brand. And like, you don't, I hate to say this. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but like, you random kids starting out, you don't deserve this level of garment for your brand. Like you gotta go through this is 8 years of blood, sweat, and tears and like figuring it out. And we've perfected some of the garments and we're trying to be more selective with who gets to use that garment and not be like, we have an offering for that person as well, but like our higher end stuff, we're trying to reserve for our own brand.
Well, that's kind of like how certain brands do it though too. Like, what is it? Like Under Armour and North Face and stuff, where you have to get approval before you can print on it. What do you think going forward with that with your company?
I think the big thing is that even if we like a brand and they're great and they're not, I used to use like Punk Streetwear Kid as a thing because I know a lot of people can resonate with that experience, but even brands we like sometimes have bought our garment and they want to do a shared Instagram post and then they're selling our t-shirt for $20 less than we're selling it for. It's more of to protect the brand and the workmanship that we put into it and the development and R&D. Like we should protect it more at this point and be a little more purposeful. So
right.
Going forward, we're trying to again, we have different offerings. So we've got a couple different fleeces that we run. We've got a couple different t-shirts. Certain ones we're going to continue just selling whomever wants to buy them. We'll sell to anybody, but the certain higher end ones we're not selling as a private label unless it's like a massive client that's going to, pay wages for 3 months, like a big production.
Right.
But we want it to have our label on it. We want it to be a co-branded thing. We want somebody that's going to tell the story of where it's made and why it's more expensive and why it's better. And if a partner is not willing to do that, like, hey, we've got this one that you can also order, or you can go somewhere else. Right.
So it's not just because I think when we were first talking, it seemed like it was the whole company was taking that direction of, we might want to just make it all our own brand and it's not for sale to anybody. But you're saying you want to have it in like a 2-tier system of like, these items are available for anybody and Joe Schmo can walk in and get garment dyed items. They're paying a premium, but whatever. And then there's this whole nother tier that's only for you. And like you said, if somebody worthy will collab on that, then that's a whole separate project. Are they going to be called the same thing, like the same brand, or is it like an offshoot brand?
I don't know. What do you think? How do we position that?
My gut instinct, like right off the bat, is to make it a separate name, just because you don't want necessarily this high-end brand to have the same name as, I don't want to call it a lower brand, but still it's like, it's for a different clientele. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like it would be like something, I don't want to say premium because I feel like that's cringe, but it needs to be a different something just so it's known that it's a separate thing.
Yeah. And that's something we talk about a lot and think about a lot. One distinction that I made with my team a couple of years back is that we wanted to shift between being a product business and being a service business to a product business. And I think that's like a service business is, what do you want? Let us figure out how to make it. We'll do whatever you want. You tell us what you want and give us your business. And then if you leave, like then what? And we wanted to consciously shift to, this is what we make. You can take it or leave it, but this is what we are making and we can continue to make. And I think in terms of growing scaling a business, you should have both if you can easily service both sides of that coin. But it's service is hard, as you know. Yeah,
I mean, that's the difficult thing. Like, it's easier said than done, though. Like, I mean, if you have the ability to do that, then I think, hell yeah, go for it. It's the same with me. Like, I could sit here all day on my high horse and say, like, you can see all these influencers on Instagram and shit, these business people. It's like, never lower your price for anybody, or never this or that. It's like, dude, that's not reality. Like, if every customer that walked through the door, I was just like, they were like, oh, well, you know, we'd love to use you, but we're getting them from so-and-so for 5 cents less or something. 9 times out of 10 at a screen print shop, you're going to be like, all right, I'll match that price.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, we could say all day long that we don't want to, but do we want that order? Do we want that customer? Like, what does it take? And I'm not saying go from like selling a shirt for $8 to selling a shirt for $4. I'm saying go from $8 to like $7.75 or something.
Yeah. And it's, at what point in how long have you been doing this?
I've been in this industry for about 20 years now.
And at what point, like as a new business owner, I feel like we all just take whatever we can possibly get. You know, you're just trying to keep the lights on. And then you get to the point where I feel like this is where I'm at, where we can start to be a little selective and pick the right business rather than just taking anything. And it feels great. And then
it's the best. It's the best thing ever when you're like, no, I don't need that. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, the power of no is I'm a yes man. I like to please people. I like to, you know, make it happen, and that's how I've gotten here. But now it feels really empowering to turn something down. But I would guess there's a third stage, and this is what again, I keep referencing that other podcast episode. I thought was really impactful. Like, you are actively, rather than waiting for just whatever to come to you and you decide, you're then going out and proactively getting the people you want to be working with. And like, what stages would you say of your 20 some years in business? Like, when did those stages, was there a defined moment when you moved from that, or am I missing a stage?
No, I think it's just, like you said, it depends on how hungry you are. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here all day and be like, yeah, we're supreme and we like, we're busy all year and I can turn down jobs left and right. I would say if in reality, like grounded in reality, is like from April to November, I could say no. And then from like November to April again is like, I'll say yes to just about anything. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we slow down and we're like, you know, kind of printing enough work to stay busy, keep the lights on, a little bit of profit. But a lot of times it's like your turnaround goes from like 15 business days to 7 business days. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, I could use more work. So when you get that client that comes in January and they're like, you know, I want 5,000 pieces, but can I get it at this price? You're more than likely going to be like, yeah, sure. Because I have the time. I have the ability to do things for cheaper, because there's not as big of a line. There's not as big of a like, oh, well, I got to push so-and-so out of the way. But again, it comes to, I think, in my career where I'm at, I can say no a lot more to shit that's like just annoying. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, this customer is a huge pain in the ass and they want this and this and this. And it's like, when I was in my first 5 years in business, I would have just dealt with it. I would have worked till midnight. I would have just done it because it was a new client. Oh, we got a new client. We got a new client. And now I'm just like, nah, that's going to suck. I think that's more from just being beaten down, not necessarily like a financial thing. It's like, I know where this leads. Like, you're going to be a nightmare customer. We're going to work really hard to get this stuff done for you. And then you're still going to complain about it.
Mm-hmm. And
now I'm just like, I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing that.
And when you say no, do you send them to somebody else?
Sometimes. It's hard to just straight up say no. Usually it's we're too booked up right now. We're not taking on that kind of work. I know this print shop, you know, for me, I won't send a shit customer, but if it's something I don't want to do, there's a couple shops that I'll send it to that are friends and just see if they want to do it. I don't have any like hatred customers or other print shops where I'm like, oh, go to this guy with your bullshit. I usually just say no, or I try to price them out or something. Sometimes we do say like, no, thank you. Like, we're not interested.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they're dicks, we just say, you're an asshole. We don't want to work with you. But that's not as often.
I've found that a lot of that, sometimes saying no, we actually saying no can actually be the best thing. Like we had I can't name names yet, but we're working on a random project for one of the Detroit automakers. And I told him, no, this is not in our wheelhouse. It's not something that is worth our time. And he goes, well, price it in a way that is worth your time. Like, we're a big business. Like, a lot of money to you might not be a lot of money to us, is basically what he told me. And it turned into like a really productive project and really good business for us. And like a lot of times when we have said no, not because it's annoying, but just like it's not the right fit, it ends up earning a lot of trust. And like years later, that person will come back and, hey, you said no to me, and like I actually shouldn't have gone that route anyway, but now I've got a thing that's in your wheelhouse. I want to send it to you because I trust you. You know, we found that's actually really nice. That wild? It really works.
Yeah, we had one the other day where this customer, and Leanna was dealing with it or whatever, where this customer, almost every time he orders, he has something to be picky about. And it's not like a big order or anything. It's just like his random orders. Well, he had this order we did recently, and he's like, every shirt's crooked. And we're like, no, it's not. There's no way. He sent pictures too. And it's like, it's so funny when someone sends pictures and they're wrong in their own photos. It's like, these are not like, you know, we could literally put it in Photoshop and like put a line at the bottom of the artwork, put a line at the bottom of the shirt, top of the shirt, like grid it out. It's like, dude, this is not crooked in any way. And we basically just got to the point where we just said, no, like, sorry, like in our opinion, these are not wrong. And then he just responded with like, okay, like,
okay, here's my next order.
Right. Like, okay. And then like, yeah, exactly. Like this is the next project I want to work on. And it's like, I feel like so many people just have this mentality of like, I'll be the squeaky wheel because I'm going to get some free shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're going to discount my order if I say that there's something wrong with it, or I'm going to get a credit on another thing. And at some point you just say no. And they're like, all right, well, I tried, you know what I mean? And it's like, I personally hate that mentality. That's why like I suck at bartering, or not haggling. Haggling is what I suck at. Like if I go to an antique store or something, like I will just pay the price that they have. Like I won't be like, oh, will you take this price? Yeah. Because I don't want that shit done to me. You know what I mean? Like I hate that. Like it's not in me to do that.
For it. Yeah. And that's not a good partner. Like a good partner is not going to try to squeeze everything out of you that they can. Like, you know, if it's, that's something else that you have to learn. I feel like early on, like business was business, and everything was like very transactional. And now 8 years in, like we've been working with the same certain companies for 8 years. And like, when you think about it more long term, it's easier to think through those situations. Like we've done $10,000, $20,000 orders for free because we really messed up. But you know what? That customer is still with us. We've also done $10,000 orders that we've done for free, and that customer sucked and they left. They took it and ran. And like, it's hard to start to know when to make concessions and like who is actually a good partner that's going to be there and who's not.
Isn't that the worst feeling, is when you know you're arguing with a customer back and forth about something, you know they're not coming back, but you do know that you messed up in some way and you have to fix it. Like it's okay in my heart to fix something when I know it's going to fix the issue and like they will come back. But when you have to eat it and fix it and know for sure they're not coming back, like you almost wish like reviews and Yelp weren't a thing, so you could just tell them to fuck off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's the deciding factor, really. Like that's the reason why a lot of us get like weird about this, is because we don't want the negative review afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, we've started to work. We've been really fortunate to get good partners. Like, if they're a good partner, that's not about the review. It's just about like, we messed up, we're going to do what's right for you, and vice versa. And not everybody shares that sentiment. And like, that's the goal, is get as many of those people in, you know, just do what's right. Like it's not that hard it shouldn't be that hard. It is hard for a lot of people.
Yeah. But the thing is like, I'm fully behind doing what's right. Like if I messed up in any way, like I want to fix it. I will fix it even if I hate you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I want to do that. But when I know full well that I'm right and they're wrong, but there's that mentality of like the customer's always right and you got to do it. That's when I start to draw the line of like, this sucks. Like this isn't right. And I don't believe in it.
Have you had people blackmail you ever? Like either fix this either fix this somehow, or like I'm going to return the whole thing and there's nothing you can do about it. It's the worst feeling.
I have people that basically write a 1-star review, like write a horrible one, and then email. Like, don't talk to us first. They write the 1-star review and then email and say, you will fix this order, or I will make more of these, or whatever. If you fix it, I will give you a 5-star review and change this. Or I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to post, you know, fuck this shop, they screwed me over, blah, 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 if you don't fix this order. And it's like, guys, like, this is so disgusting. Like,
yeah.
If something's genuinely wrong, I will fix it. But if you're just doing this to be an asshole, that's where I like. And this goes back to what you were saying of like, I just get beat down over so many things that now I see those customers coming. Like, I can read the red flags where I'm like, nope, I'm just going to say no up front.
Yep. And it's got to feel good to be in that position finally and not just be like desperate all the time. Like the first however many years, just feel like you're desperate for whatever you can get and you're going to deal with it, even though you know it's coming. And
that's the best feeling as a business owner, is when you have a certain threshold in the bank account and where you have things are humming and you're like, okay, cool. Like, I can literally feel the stress leave my body.
Yeah. That's real. I can relate.
Yeah, it's awesome. I want to go back a little bit to kind of when you started and did this whole thing. Like, I want to dive more into like what it's like to be a manufacturer in the United States for your field, because I feel like it's not that common. Like, or is it more common than I think?
I think there are more. I've learned in doing this, there are more garment factories than I thought, but there's still not many of them.
Right.
And specifically, this is something I'm really proud of. I'm 32. I've been doing this since I was 24, and I'm excited to be doing it for another 20 years. But so much of the industry is in their 60s, 70s, 80s. Like, a lot of our suppliers are getting up there, and one of our competitors, like the owner, died a couple years ago. He just, it's a industry that is literally dying off here. And I think there's a select, I haven't come across too many, but there's definitely a select group of like new energy coming up and doing it. But there's just not a lot of people that want to, work in manufacturing. It truly is a shrinking industry, at least in garments, I see. So we're really excited to be part of that. And excited to try to come at it from a fresh approach. Like, some of these older shops have done it the same way for 50 years. Like, I'm looking into automation. Can we automate some of our tasks and just do it with a better machine so that every garment's going to be perfect and it'll be more efficient, and the person that's operating, you're still going to need a person to operate that machine, but you don't have to be a sewer of 10 years to know how to do these certain steps. Like, we can get someone, and train them in 2 days, and next thing you know, they're sewing perfect garments every time. And like, there's just a lot of innovation coming in the garment manufacturing industry that hasn't been there before. And it makes me really optimistic for the future that it is going to make sense and a big way to make things in America. For the reasons I shared, it's just faster. You can, as automation gets better, like the garments will be better. You can be a lot more flexible and read and react a lot quicker than the old way. And it's exciting to be coming up at a time when all those changes are happening.
Yeah. There's two things I want to touch on there. The first one is, I fully believe what you just said. Like, I'm a younger guy. I'm not young, but like, I'm a younger guy. Whereas there are certain screen print shops that clients I want to work with have worked with the older shop, where they're kind of stuck in their ways, where they only are offering certain garments. They're only offering certain print techniques. They're not going to be necessarily as creative with like new design styles or anything. They're more just like taking their logo, putting it on things, and then giving it off. And it's like, at what point do you not feel bad for approaching that customer because you can give them a better product? Like, you can give them better merch, you can come up with more creative designs, like all these other things. And it's like, it's not really a battle I'm dealing with, because I feel strongly that I can give this customer, which I really want, a better product. Like, it's better for them. And I feel it's the same with you of like, you can come into an industry where it might be a lot of people who are in their 60s, 70s, whatever, where you're fresh and hungry and you're like learning all these new techniques, where these people in their 60s are just like, I'm tired. Like, my company is running and it's just doing its thing. I don't want to be constantly researching or trying new techniques. Like, I just want to make the shit that makes me money so that I can go do what I want to do. And, I'm going to be done with this soon. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like energized by that? Because it makes me hyped. Like, it makes me be like, when I go to that customer, I'm like, oh yeah, did you know about this? Do you know about this? Do you know about this? And they're like, I can see in their eyes that they're excited. And like,
Yeah.
that gets me excited.
I think that's been a big part of our success is that we are just like a fresh face, and there, especially in the American made garment world, like there's just not been too many of them, especially I consider us to be like a little smaller, more boutique-y than like the big, there's some big factories in LA that are great.
Yeah.
But it's just a different experience working with a smaller factory like ours. And yeah, it definitely, it excites people. I love the experience of going to New York and, talking to different people in different circles. They're like, oh, you own a factory in Detroit. Like, everyone wants to find that factory connect. And, you look and communicate very differently than all the old school factories on the East Coast. And that does excite people. I've got stacks of samples here that get sent because people want to start developing, and they trust that we're going to get it. When they say they want a shorter, boxier fit, like, great, we've got that. We know what you're looking for, not like the guy that's got to take it to the drafting board and draw it on paper and like figure it out. We just have it digitally and we can go, and it's a different experience. And yeah, it does excite me, and it's really, I think, been a big driver of our early success.
Yeah. If you can get like honest and vulnerable, like, what are the challenges though of doing stuff in the United States? Like, I know there's like a lot of benefits, but like, what are the negatives that like make it harder for you to do it here versus do it over there? I mean, obviously number one has got to be labor costs.
I don't think so. I think there are just less options. Like, there's not many people doing it. If you want a zipper made in the US, there's one place that makes zippers in the US that you can go to, and they make their 10 zippers, and that's what you have to choose from. If I want to buy a zipper from China, I can go to one factory that makes 100 different zippers, and if I don't like those, I'll go to the next factory in the same city that makes 100 different zippers, and they're going to be a lot less expensive, and they're better. And not zippers specifically. The guy in LA making zippers is excellent. We use him all the time.
Yeah, don't bash him. He's your one zipper guy.
Yeah. but yeah, that's it. Like, we buy, we bought our fabric from the same mill for 8 years, and they basically ship to two different dye houses. One of the dye houses closed. So there is basically one big dye house on the East Coast that you can get fabric from. If you're not buying from there, you're buying from LA. With the new tariffs situation, everybody's trying to make their stuff in America right now, which is great for us. All of our stuff is American made. Our prices have stayed the same roughly, but all of a sudden our lead time on fabric just tripled. Like, there's just not the infrastructure to be able to do it efficiently. And if you need a special dyed twill tape, well, hey, that's not made in America. You got to buy that overseas. Buttons, Oxford cloth is not made in America. Like, there's a lot of different things that you just can't really get here anymore. And so I guess to sum that up, it's very fragmented. The supply chain is all over the place.
Yeah. Just because there's not as much of a demand for it for American manufacturers getting American products, it's harder for you. You just have less to choose from, like you're saying.
Yeah. Yep. But I think on the labor side, our product and our pricing is pretty competitive with other. There's very few companies at our level and I say our level, like, that are selling that price point of premium garment, and we're pretty competitive on that front with the labor costs. Honestly, Michigan labor costs are lower than they are in California. They're lower than they are in a lot of states.
Yeah, I could see that. Is there some kind of manufacturing incentive for Detroit too, being that there is a lot of manufacturing there?
I don't think I don't think apparel specifically. It's still like not a big thing here. If we were in auto or anything related to automotive, there's a lot of incentives, but
Right.
our scale is just very different. But there are incentives, and there's a lot of talk around automation here. And so, like I talk about wanting to automate some of our sewing steps. That's a way that we might be able to tack on to this industry over here. That there's funds for automating manufacturing in general, and we're tangential to that.
That's awesome. Do you think that you want to get more into making some of these other things, like making? I don't know how you even make a zipper, but like, is that something where you're like, oh, I'd eventually like to look into making our own zippers or making our own buttons or making our own, like even just having a dye house or something?
So a dye house is the one thing that I do want to do. And we actually, so the dye house we were using was in Philadelphia. The guy, Bill, was incredible.
Obviously, Bill.
He was a Vietnam War vet, bought this dye house, ran it for 40 years, and then he retired. He sold his building. It got bulldozed, and he made a ton of money on it because it was in a good spot in Philly. We actually bought all of his formulas, 40 years of dye formulas. We were going to Philly a couple times. He was teaching us how to dye. We bought all of his dyes. We bought a machine. We had a lot of trouble in the city of Detroit setting up a dye house. Like, it was basically blocked because they were nervous about contaminating the water. Which, in all of my research, we have the best water treatment facility in the world right down the street because of all the auto manufacturing here. Like, our 1,000 gallons in a day would be a drop in the bucket compared to what the auto factories are putting out. But ultimately, it's something that we will be figuring out, because I think that's the last piece of our equation. That if we currently garment dye our stuff in New York or New Jersey, so we have to finish garment, ship it there, and ship it back, and like all that time and cost.
There's so much waste and cost and everything. Yeah, it'd be awesome
and UPS
to do
loses boxes, and like it's kind of a challenge. So if we could get that in under our roof, I think that's the last piece that we want to do, and then just stay in our lane, do our thing well, and bring that in, and hopefully the rest of the industry will start to catch up domestically if there's the demand, like you said.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a whole nother thing too, where now that you're getting into it, you're realizing there's so much more to it than what you originally thought. Is that something now where you're like, I want this because I need this, but I really don't want to do this? Like, or are you excited about it?
No, I would much rather. I wish Johnny down the street would open up a dye house. I would give him so much business. So if anybody listening and wants to open up a dye house in Michigan, I'll teach you how to do it, get you the setup.
You got guaranteed business.
Yeah, you guaranteed business. No, yeah, I really don't want to do it. We need it. Like, it would really, the business case is there. So, and this was a couple years ago that we pursued this, and we actually won a grant to do it in the city. Like, everything was going well, and we just had kept smashing our heads against the wall with getting it done, and eventually ran out of funds, and figured we'll table it for a couple of years down the road.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you got everything basically ready. You just need to kind of move forward with it. It's not like you're starting from scratch.
Yeah. And a big thing is we need to own our building. Putting a couple $100,000 investment into a building you don't own is probably not wise. So we need to get to the scale where we can buy a little building offsite and open up that dye house.
Mm-hmm. Now, when this tariff stuff happened, did you find that just having eyes on, or people talking about like American made products, did that boost your business at all?
Hugely. We've had more inbound this year than ever. And I think part of that is just every year we're growing, we're getting more eyes in general. Like, I don't want to say it's all because of the tariff situation, but I think there's definitely a big part of it. Some pretty big brands are coming to us and saying, we've always wanted to make it in America. It just finally feels like the right time. We're going to try it now. And like, I wonder
like
why
they just thought of it randomly.
That's how it's often pitched.
That's hilarious.
And I don't know that this is going to continue. I actually don't think it will. I think at minimum 3 years from now, there's going to be a reversal. And I just hope that I hope that the general mindset has changed enough and the market has shifted, and some of it will go back, but I think enough of it will stay here that it will continue to be a value add to be made in America.
Well, the cool thing is if you can take advantage of it right now, like not to sound snaky or anything, but if you can build cool relationships now, at least you're in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who these brands are that are reaching out to you, but like get in with them, fucking talk to them, like schmooze them as much as possible. Go there and hang out. And then they're like, oh, I know Josh. He's great. Like, we can get X products from Josh, and then we can get maybe in 3 years they switch a couple products back to overseas, but at least you're in the door and there's products made with your thing. And
Yep.
you know, maybe your products are better than theirs anyway, and they're like, you know what, like we could get it cheaper over there or whatever it is, but we still love the quality, we love the consistency, we love that we can call Josh for it rather than talking to 10 random people overseas and dealing with all the shipping and issues and this and that.
Yeah, and that's the hope, that it will stick, even if not all of it sticks. A lot of times early on, a lot of bigger brands would want to tell the story of, we made this in Detroit. Here's this cool capsule. It's beautiful. It's yada yada, and they would do it once and then they would never come back, because they told that story. They already capped out on that. Now let's go back to our normal. And for the first time over the past like 2 years, we're getting, like, we did a collab with the Pistons. They came back to us. Like, even though it's more expensive, it wasn't just a one time, let's tell the story and look good. Like, it actually did stick. And we're seeing more and more of that our product is actually doing the job after we get it in people's hands,
Right.
rather than just like the story and the product is what it is and move on.
That's awesome. What do you think is like, and I'm asking you specifically, like, what is the perfect tee or the perfect fleece in your opinion? Like, I know there's a million variations out there, but like, what is your ideal? Like, no, I've seen this made. I know what goes into this. Like, this is, you know, is it a 4.5 ounce, more of a slim fit style shirt? Is it a heavyweight shirt? Is it just what's trendy? Or are you just like, nope, all around, this is like cream of the crop, like ideal item?
I'm unfortunately going to give you a long answer for this one, but
Perfect. I'm happy to hear it.
So we make 4 different t-shirts. We make a 4.2 ounce combed cotton, a 5.6 ounce combed cotton, a 7 ounce, which is what I'm wearing, and then a 9 ounce, which is like the heaviest thing on the market.
It's like wearing a blanket.
It's worse than a blanket because it's like very structured, and it's not as like soft and buttery. It's just like heavy. It does really well in Japan and Korea for us. It's very polarizing. But the reason I mention all of those, I think there's a different t-shirt for a lot of different occasions. Like, if I'm wearing a t-shirt under a hoodie, I don't want that heavyweight thing. It's just not comfortable. I want the softer one. If I'm wearing a shirt out and I want to look good, I want something more structured, a little heavier. It drapes better. I rotate through all 4 of those pretty regularly. If I'm running, I do not want to wear the 9 ounce. I'm going to have bleeding nipples from chafing on that thing. Like, so there's a use case for everything, and I don't think one t-shirt can serve all of those purposes.
I'm gonna go off on a tangent real quick with the bleeding nipples, because I didn't realize that was as much of a thing as it is with like runners and stuff. Is like your shirt rubbing your nipples raw. Me and Christina were watching. Was it Welcome to Wrexham, the soccer show on FX? And the one dude had got pressured into doing like a marathon or something. And at the end, he had a white shirt on and it was just blood all down the front. And I was like, what is happening? And I guess it's a thing. I didn't realize that it was like such a hardcore thing. That's what you got to do. You got to come up with a shirt that has like soft pads on the inside around the nipple area. That's like saving these people.
It's not so, I'm very flat chested. I don't have to deal with that, thankfully. But it's a real thing, and don't run in a 9 ounce t-shirt. Like, it's the specifically a carded cotton one. Like, it's not right for that. Go off of the 4.2 ounce. It's softer and better for those use cases. So all that to say, yeah, there's a different t-shirt for different occasions. My favorite one is our 5.6 ounce tee. That's what I started with 8 years ago. That was like the fabric I bought first. We've made tens of thousands of those things. They're used by a lot of notable brands, sell that t-shirt. That's like our best selling thing. And that's my favorite one, just for overall. You can wear it out. You can also wear it to exercise. It's like right in the middle, but still more substantial than, like, our 4.2 ounce tee is closest to like a Bella Canvas tee, just a little more light, slinky. Yeah.
Nice. What is the end goal for you? Like, is the goal to just grow this thing and keep going, or is it to sell it off? Is it to just be proud of what you've created and, you know, hope it goes in the right direction? Like, what's the plan?
All along, the plan was to just be able to pay myself something, which I didn't do for the first like 5 years, 6 years. I'm really fortunate. It's going in the right direction now. We just had our second kid a couple months ago, and
Congrats.
thank you. Able to support a family. That's like the short term. That was always the goal. And now that I'm here, thinking about what's next. I love doing it. I like the process of making the product. I like figuring it out. I like working on how to be more efficient, how to be better. I like meeting people. It's taken me to some really cool places. I got to go to Paris Fashion Week this year in June. We had our product in multiple different showrooms for the brands we work with. I want to be there with our own soft goods brand next year. I get to go to New York regularly. I have customers in Seattle. Like wherever I want to go, I have a business excuse to go take that trip.
Isn't that fucking awesome? Like, I'm going to brag real quick about that. Like, I get people that aren't, you know, that are like friends and family or whatever locally or anything. And they're like, oh, you're always doing this, or you can go there. I'm like, I can visit a print shop anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, oh, I want to go to Alaska. It's like, cool, let me go and I'll visit like 4 print shops while I'm there or something. And it's like, I love it. Like, I love that we can do just about anything and go anywhere or meet friends or know people all over the place. It's not like, I don't know, like there's certain industries where it's like you're in your own world. It's like, no, I can branch out to talk to anybody and do all these rad things that have to do with work. Like, I could go see a show and call it a business expense because I'm going to like talk to that band or try to get their business or research merch. It's like, you know how many times I've gone to Disney to just be like, oh, I'm doing market research to like, you know, like look at all these different offerings and whatever that they have. And it's like,
yeah, we're fortunate that what we do, like it's the stuff that I would want to be doing anyway, going to concerts, going to these places, and like the people that I'm sure you're the same way. I've made incredible friends through this, and just people like literally we have a distributor in Korea and Japan, and like our dudes from South Korea came to visit us last week. I'm hoping to go, or 2 weeks ago. We just hung out in Detroit, took them swimming. Like, I'm excited to go do that in Korea, and like it just literally making friends around the world that it's working in a corporate job. Working in a corporate job, I would have had like my one vendor that I'm close with and whatnot. But like, this is just, I love doing it. I don't particularly want to stop doing it anytime soon. With that being said, I don't want to die running this business. Not to be insensitive.
You don't want to die in this business either.
That's true. Again, not to be insensitive, but like I've seen that happen where some of these guys that have been doing it for 50 years, like didn't have a succession plan and didn't have an exit. So that is on my mind that I do want to pass it off before I get to that point. And maybe it's my daughter and my son that runs it. That's been hitting me too. Like, this could be a family business. I don't know yet. I'm just happy to be doing it and be able to support the family. And right now that's good enough.
I want to ask you this because it's kind of something that's on my mind and I bring it up all the time. And I'm not going to name any names on my side, but there's certain manufacturers or brands or whatever that I talk to, and I feel like it's hard. And you can tell me why you think it might be this way, but like, I think that if they're trying to sell more of their blanks, like you, like, who is it that's your target market? Like, are you thinking end user? Are you thinking, oh, I want to make shirts and take photos and do the Instagram and do all these other things, or the fashion week thing, to be like, I want the general public to want my item? Or are you like, I want to nerd out as much as possible and talk to the decorators because they're the ones that are going to sell these items? Like, and that's the camp that I live in, like, obviously because I'm a decorator, but like, I think these apparel manufacturers should do everything in their power to cater to the the apparel decorator, because every shop, there's 1,000 items for us to offer. There's a million different t-shirts for us to have in our catalog, but none of us decorators are offering 1,000 items to the customer. They're offering their top 5 or 4 that they actually like. They know print really well. They know they can get stock of, they know they can do this or that. And it's like, I feel like so many of these people are targeting the end user, where it's the printer who's telling the customer.
They're your sales reps. They're
right. Like if someone comes to us and says, I want 100 shirts for my band or whatever, like they're just saying, I want 100 shirts for my band. I'm giving them my top 4. I might be like, here's my good, better, best. Here's you want a G5000, and then my mid tier, you might say, okay, I'm going to give you a Hammer T or a Next Level or a Bella or whatever. And then it's like, okay, my top tier is going to be, AS Color, Comfort Colors, like whatever it is. But that's it. Like, that's what they see. I'm giving them the price for these 6 items. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted more of your brand shirts sold, I think you should go to the printers or offer on your website or offer in your marketing, like all this nerd speak and anything you can do for the printers, where it's like, okay, like this is the dischargeability of all of my garments. Like, okay, my shirts are enzyme washed and the printability is amazing. Or, I have stock in these core colors because this is what the bands and this is what your market wants the most. Like all of these things, I would be marketing to the fucking decorators as much as humanly possible, because they're going to be the ones that push your product to all these people. Like you can look cool and be on TV and do all these things, but it's like, is that pushing the needle? Like, is that getting more garments sold? Or is it going to a print shop that's an awesome print shop that sells millions of garments a year, getting them to like you a lot, where out of those 10 million garments they might print, 6 million of them were yours? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you feel on this? Because I'm very strong in the camp of, you guys need to fucking help the printers. Like, give them as much as possible, because
and they're going to make it easy. Yeah.
They're going to sell your products because it's like, okay, these rule. Like, I have a great rep. I have everything I need. I know the printability. They're going to be behind me if this happens. They're going to tell me, hey, there's this new product, but also, like, just so you know, like, you're not going to have dye migration issues. You're not going to have this thing, or, these puff really well, or, all these different things they could tell us that are like, make our lives easier. Because realistically, I could go out in the print shop and a printer might be printing, say, some specific item that never wants to stick to the pallet, or it dye migrates all the time, or they're having fibrillation issues on like every shirt. They're going to go behind my back from the shop to the salespeople and be like, stop fucking selling this shirt. Like, it sucks to print on. We always have issues. It stops the press all the time. Like, that's where, we're going to stop selling that shirt. But if the manufacturer came to us and said, hey, this is good for this use case, and here's all the information, then we'd be more apt to sell this or not sell this. So I just went on a rant. I'm sorry, but like, I just want to know your take on it. Like, are you going after, I think you're in a different category though. Like, you're trying to go more high end stuff, but like, what's your take on this?
We were trying to do that at one point, and we were putting together boxes to send to print shops, and what we found is our product is just expensive, and the margin structure isn't really there to, like, we don't have the inventory on the shelf, and we're expensive. It wasn't a good play for most printers. And we've definitely, with our local print shops in the Detroit area, there's 4 or 5 that have sold jobs for us, but it's like 1 or 2. Each shop has sold 1 or 2 jobs in total over 8 years, because it's a very specific client that fits. But yeah, I very much agree with what you're saying.
Let me ask you this though. The stuff that you have now, and say your big clients, or the one, I'm just going to make up a client. Say it's Vans. Like, say Vans wants to use your garment for all of their stuff they sell at the Vans stores and all this other stuff. Are you finding that you could find out who Vans is using to print their garments, and then maybe go to them and be like, who are other clients like Vans that would want our things, and find the people who are printing those things? I'm saying, like, if you went to print shops that are selling to the clients that are going to want to buy your stuff, maybe send boxes to those people. Like I wouldn't say send a box to Tim and Joe's screen print shop in downtown Detroit when they're selling to mom and pops and this and the other thing, lacrosse team. Like maybe specifically target shops that would sell your garments.
Yeah. No, that's a good, I see what you're saying. And that is something that I think that's an easier sell for us, because we're not saying, like we sell to a lot of hotels. We're trying to sell to unions that have to buy American made or
Right.
garments.
Smart.
And our pitch to them is not, hey, Dylan, like you've been using this same shop for the past 40 years. Now switch to us and let us do your decoration. It's use us in addition to them. Like tell them you want them to use us. And that pitch seems to be a lot easier because you're not trying to change. You're changing less of their behavior.
Well, let's just do the union thing, like you're saying, is like there's a literal list of union shops, like in the US. Like you could send a box to every single one of them and be like, hey, are you tired of just using Delta? You know what I mean? It's like, here's other options. You know what I mean? Like we're not a union shop, but when we print for people that are like, I need made in the US, it's like, okay, we have such a smaller pool of items that we can pick from. Like, that's what I'm saying by like targeting the kind of people, the printers that are going to sell the most of your product would be those union shops, or it's going to be these people who, I don't know, say like a Liquid or something in California where like they're going after higher end clients. And it's like, okay, well, there would be more apt to sell your goods than maybe I would.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and just tailoring our approach to make it easy for them. Like you said, like, my operations manager is someone that's been on this show before. Alex Marks is his name. He worked at a print shop for 7 years, and like he is the biggest print nerd. And we could show up with that stuff that even I don't know some of those details, but he knows the details about our garments because that's what he cared about at a print shop, And
right.
I like where you're going with that. Just like making it so easy and giving them only the things that they need to know rather than the fluff that I'm selling everybody else.
Well, you know what's funny, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody either, but there's things that like you might not think about because it's just easier for you or how you guys do things that make a huge difference to print shops. Like there's items here that we refuse to sell because they come like individually bagged.
Yeah.
Or they come
makes a huge difference.
Folded weird or something. You know what I mean? Like my receiving guy is like, stop selling this item because I have to sit here and it takes me 3 hours to count in this order because I have to unbag every item and then flat fold them. Whereas if they were to come to us in dozens, like flat folded, cool. Then I can go through and be like, bing, 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 12, bing, 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 12. Like, we would want to sell more of those because we can get it in and out of the door faster and it's just packaged a certain way. It's stupid shit like that. Like you're thinking about like fabric and garment and this when really it's your packaging to the customer that's screwing you. Yeah. Like how does it make it easier for them?
That's where we find success because we are so much just smaller. Like we're not a big machine that does the same thing over and over and over. Like we're really doing custom. And if we try to have those conversations up front, like what is important to you and what do you need out of this to make, my wife's always telling me like in life, you just have to think about the customer, who is what you are doing, who is the next person that you're doing it for and how do they need it? And always take that into consideration and deliver it in a way that's easy for them. And people are going to like you. They're going to want to do more business with you and work with you and do, whatever that is, not just in business, but in life. Like if you're thinking about how you're doing impacts the next person and set it up for them, easy recipe for success.
Yeah. And I think as stupid as it is, like if you're the guy, you're the face or you're the salesman or whatever, like you're easy to talk to. You're down to earth dude. You made these products. You're trying to get involved as possible. Even just letting people know that side of the story before it even gets to the garment is huge. You're just like, yeah, I was a printer and I got into this and, I really like making these garments. Like if I was to say, okay, there's this person who owns this company or this person owns this company, like, what kind of human are they? Are they a decent person? Yeah. Or are they just like, oh, I bought into this company because it makes me a profit so I can have another lake house or something. It's like, no, you're here, you're grinding, you're young, you're hungry. Like people see shit like that and they're like, I want to support this dude because this is awesome and I want to see him grow and I want to see this happen and whatever.
That's a really good point. Like we probably a lot of people in different cases, like sometimes leading with the story is more powerful than leading with the product. Like people,
dude, 100%.
You humanize yourself and you're not just another cold email from like a merch shop. Like why are you different? Why, like you said, you're going to provide more value because you're doing it differently than the shop that's done it the same way for 40 years.
Dude, there's so many Instagrams or something that I follow that there's this one guy that is interesting to watch where it's like he started a coffee shop and he made an Instagram where he just literally is documenting every day where he's like, hey, like it's just me. I have a cart. This is my goal. I want to get to have my own coffee shop. I want to have this or whatever. And every day he's talking about shit that's it's not always like I make the best coffee or I do this. It's like today sucked. Like nobody bought anything. Like this is what's happening. And then people rally behind this. Now he's got like millions of followers and like this whole thing. And he started a coffee shop. And it's like, if he would have just stayed off of that and was like, I just want to make coffee and like made this thing, like it would be nothing. But because people get behind his story of like, he's trying and he's like me, like he has bad days and this happened, or like for you could be like, hey, we bought stuff for a dye house, but you know what, we have to put it on hold because this thing's happening. People will watch your story waiting to see when you get the dye house ready. They'll wait to see when you figure this out. You know what I mean? It's just like it's things like that where people get behind you because they want to see the end of your story. Like if you don't share that, if everything that's soft goods posts on Instagram is nothing but just like polished someone wearing a shirt in an alleyway with a car lights behind them or something, it's like there's no story there. It's just like it's another garment. But if you're like, nope, this is us making this, Susan sewed this shirt together and you know what, she has 3 kids and this is why she makes this way or whatever, it's like people are like, oh cool, like I want a shirt that Susan made. And it's like I don't know, there's just so many things.
Yeah, I've had my head down for so long, like 6 years, and of just like figuring it out and just trying to figure out how to make something good that wasn't going to fall apart the first time you washed it. In the first couple of years, that was where we were at, and I'm so proud of like we're going to make 50,000 units this year at our factory, and they're being sold literally worldwide. And I'm super proud of that. Awesome, and the garments are actually best in class nowadays. But we don't tell the story. That's something that I've actually been really bad at. Just been so heads down and not telling the story and letting everybody else tell our own story. And that's part of like we're doing a rebrand and we're trying to launch our brand because we want to basically control that again. It's hard when you only do custom work to not just let everyone else dictate who you are and what your story is as a business.
I will tell you too, this is my own experience, is I, for years, did all the social media. Like I was making stories. I was always like posting my face and talking about things and whatever. People knew Upstate for me and me doing this and that and the other thing. I got to a point where I got burnt out on it and I wanted to not be on as much. And I hired somebody to run the socials for me, whatever. I noticed that it hurt us quite a bit.
Really?
Like giving it to somebody else, they weren't doing anything wrong. It's just it lost all personality. Like it lost all like personal touch. Now it's just like pictures of shirts or, latest print or whatever. And that's okay. But like it lost a lot of the like culture. Yeah. And I think that you might, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I think
I was going to ask you what to do. So please tell me.
Okay. I personally feel that if you did it, if you posted on Instagram and you talked about your experiences and you talked about these things, as much as you don't want to be on camera, or maybe you do, I don't know.
I don't mind.
It will be 100x what it would be if you did it as the owner and founder and creator than if you hired some intern to run your socials and like tell your story and whatever else. Like I've seen statistics on this before just from whatever, but it's definitely like people rally behind the creator or the visionary part of it. Like even if you're not involved in all the systems and processes and you might not know how to sew a specific garment because you researched it originally and then handed it off to a manager and that person learned this and so on. As long as you can describe those things or like talk about these processes, then people will still get behind you because it's your journey. And in reality, it's your blood, sweat, and tears that are involved. Like you have skin in the game. So like the reality is they're looking at your wins, but they're also looking at your losses, and it's entertaining and they're behind the story. So
this is a good kick in the butt, because I know this stuff, but it's still easier to just outsource it or I'm too busy. Let's leave it. It goes dark for a month. Like
I'm hard at taking my own advice too. Like even now, like I told Christina like 3 weeks ago, I was like, I need to start doing this again. Like I need to start making stories every day and, talking about the business and this, but it's like, the reality is where I'm at in my life and where I'm at with this business is I have a lot of other things to attend to, and making an Instagram reel isn't at the top of my list.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally going home crying because something is happening that is out of my control. I'm not in the mood to get on and be like, hey guys, this was my day. Like, like I want to do it and I plan to do it. I even bought like special mics and like all this other stuff to do these projects. And it's just like, I just need to kick, like you're saying, I need the kick in the ass to just be like, I am going to do this now.
Do you find that you like I find the stuff we do here is very cool. So to most people that walk in, they're like, oh my gosh, that's how that happens. Or like that cutter is crazy. How do you not slice off your arm? Like it's really cool stuff, but I've been desensitized because I've looked at it every stinking day for 8 years. Like, and do you find that when content creating, like, how do you break past that to keep showing people what people want to see, even though you don't care about it?
It was probably It was probably a couple of years ago now. There was a friend of mine who is in the trades who has like a very large channel who like builds $1 million home, like crazy expensive homes. I say $1 million, but I'm way more than that. Basically he said the same thing to me. He's like, cause me and him were talking about socials, cause he has like a really large social channel. And I was saying the same thing as you. Is like, well, I don't want to just post like videos of the press spinning and like making shirts or whatever. He's like, yeah, but to you, it's boring and it's the day to day. The people who don't know anything about how t-shirts are made, it's like insane for them to see. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, this is how this is made. This is this thing. He's like, it's crazy. Like, you don't want that to be every post. Like, you don't want it to get monotonous, but like, there's so many things that you do that you think are dumb, but everyone else thinks is going to be amazing. Like, you just need to do it. Like I post some stuff sometimes and I'm like, this is so fucking lame, but like, I guess I could make content. It could be something like taping a screen where I'm like, oh, I'm going to tape it this way or whatever. And then it'll get the most comments, the most likes out of anything. Yeah. And I'm like, why does anybody give a shit about this? But it's something new and different. And it's people want to see it. And that's what I was trying to say to you is like, I was already in this industry printing t-shirts for, I don't know, 14 years or something. And then I got the opportunity to be on the board with Gildan and like go see the North Carolina facility and then go to Honduras and see all the sewing. Like it literally blew my fucking mind. You know what I mean? Like I got to see it. Like you just think like an average consumer, like I'm ordering t-shirts. You think someone's in a room dropping a t-shirt in a Canon printer and like it comes out done on the other side. You know what I mean? Like not that that's the reality, but you just think like it's easier than it is. But like if I was to show you, okay, you place an order and then a human being has to separate every color out. And then it goes from there to a laser. And then we burn a screen and we have to coat these things and we have to blow them out with a pressure washer. And then we have to put it on press.
Yeah.
And, like they don't realize.
It's beautiful. It's
Right.
beautiful.
But that's what I mean. It's like if you were to show, hey, here is raw cotton. Here's a spool of whatever. And then, okay, it gets made into this fabric. And then we have to do this with this fabric. And this is why your shirt has side seams. This is why this is a tubular or whatever. This is why we double sew. Like I follow a couple channels where it's just a guy talking about why they sew things a certain way. So it has stretch or it doesn't do this. And I watched a whole thing. It was like a 10-minute reel or something that was on the reason why shirts have that V in them, where it used to be for people to put over helmets and stuff. And it was like this whole thing, like that is interesting as shit. But to you, that's dumb. Like I see that every day.
I know why that's there.
This doesn't make any sense. But like the average person doesn't know why that's there.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day that was like a backpack where it was like do you know what this is on a backpack? And it was that leather triangle with the two, they called it pig nose, I guess.
Yeah.
And I watched the video of a guy describe it, and it was because they were like, oh, so many people will make a backpack with that leather piece just for the look. But reality is the bottom of the bag is supposed to have another loop, because that's where they used to put ice picks, where they would put the ice pick in, flip it up, and then tie it off there. And I'm like, that's interesting as shit. Now I know when I see somebody, I'm like, do you know what that pig nose is for? Because now I know and they don't know.
Yeah. And there's a lot more cool stuff, even though garments have been pretty consistent. There's a lot of reason and engineering that went into them years ago. And there's a reason why things are the way they are.
Right. But you know these things because you're in that world.
Yep.
But you could have segments every week where you're like, did you know that this is why this shirt has this? Did you know that that's why these crew necks have this sewn in loop on the back? Because it's a premium thing for them to put tags in, and like all these other things. Like, it would be cool to do.
When you think about doing that for yourself, how do you like, do you just block out 20 minutes a day? You're going to do content, or like, how does that, because I know that what you're saying would get results and it would be great. Then it comes to logistically, like, how do I actually make that happen? And with a million other things going on,
I don't want to act
in your shoes.
I don't want to act like an expert on any of this at all, but like, I do research these things and I try to figure them out, and I want to whatever. I've had the most success when I just do them organically when I have time. Like, people ask me, like, sales wise, they're like, how do you have time to send X amount of DMs to clients you want to deal with? And I'm like, dude, you want to know the honest truth? I will take a shit in the morning when I get out of bed, and I will do X amount of DMs while I'm sitting on the toilet. Like, that's the reality. I could tell you, I get to work and I look at my notepad and I block off 20 minutes to do this and this and this. That's not the reality. That's not true. Like, I will do them when I wake up in the morning laying in bed and I'm like just scrolling. I'm like, oh, I want to DM this, bakery that I really want to work with, or I came across this. It's like, just do little incremental things all day long and it adds up. Like, these people that do all these stories, it's like, you might get to work in the morning and see a machine running and you're like, oh, cool. Like, I can do it on this now. If you were to write on a notepad, like, X machine needs video by Tuesday, you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to do this. But when you walk by it, you're like, oh, I could do this right now. And I could talk about why this machine does this thing, and just make it quick and dirty too. Like, people don't need these like polished videos that get edited and all this other stuff. It's like, just hold up your phone and be like, hey, like, this is this thing. And that's it. I bought this mic thing that, like, I all these people sell all these like crazy, they have all these lighting rigs and all this other stuff. And I found just having this little mic kit where I can clip the one mic to my shirt or hat, and then I plug this end in the bottom of my iPhone. And then I can just walk around and like make a video on something or do something. And at least I know I'm going to have as good of a quality that comes out of an iPhone, which is usually great, or if someone has an Android or whatever. And now I at least know I have good audio. If I have decent audio and the video is going to be okay, I don't need crazy lighting or crazy anything. I'll just make the video, and if it works, it works. Like, nobody gives a shit. They're watching it on their phone.
Yeah.
Like, no one's watching it on a fucking TV in their house.
And they're good. Like,
like, who cares?
Try again tomorrow. It's
I would say just do what feels natural, and then just keep going. Like, people will eventually follow it, watch it, whatever. But I'm telling you right now, as as a decorator, if I could follow your channel and see how you make things, and that I can actually physically see that like things are made in Detroit, and you're like struggling to get zippers this week or something, and this happens, I'm way more apt to buy product from you, because I feel a connection to you. I feel like I know your story. I feel like I know your struggle to get those items done. I would rather buy from you than even if it was a big name brand. Like, I don't know how those were done. I have no connection to the owner. I have no connection to the workers. I don't know anything about them. Like,
people buy from people. Yeah.
They buy from real people that have real things. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you said, like, I saw you smile when you talked about, what was it, Bob, the dye house guy that you thought was just some rad dude,
Billy from Philly.
Right. Billy from Philly. Like, do you think you would buy more from Billy from Philly if you just met him one day and went there and saw his facility and you shot the shit with him and went to the bar and had pizza and whatever? Like, you would probably be more apt to buy more product from Billy from Philly just because you made that connection with them that day than you would if you found another one that might be a little closer to Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's the way to do that at scale is through social media. Like
Right.
just, I think my challenge is the consistency piece of it. I
It's
get
hard. It
excited
sucks.
and
It's
motivated
not-
and I do it and then nothing. And
I'll be
just
completely honest.
finding-
I'll be completely honest. There's days even with this podcast, like today's not one of those days, just so you know, but there's days where like I'm in a bad mood or like something happened, but I have a podcast schedule that I have to do that day.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'll sit down and I'll do it because I know it's bigger picture for me. It's better to get it done and make sure I have an episode that's coming out on Monday. 9.9% out of 10, when I sit down and start doing the episode, I forget about the rest of my problems. I genuinely just have a good conversation with that person. But leading up to recording, I'm like, I'm not in the fucking mood today. Like, I don't want to sit down and have to talk to somebody that I don't know and whatever. But again, I sit down, I start a conversation, and then like this one right now, like I have no script. I have no whatever. I am just having a conversation with you. It's going wherever it goes. And I'm having a fun time. I am learning about your business. I am shooting the shit with you about this and that. And I'm excited. It's the same thing with, I think, the social post stuff is it's like, I'm not in the mood, but then you get into it and you're like, oh, cool. And then people start engaging. And then it's like, oh, I'm getting dopamine hits because people are like interested in what I'm doing. And then tomorrow you may be like, oh, I really want to talk about this thing because so many people really like the other thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We talked about that for a while, but
No, that's good. Like that's I talk about, I had heads down for so long figuring it out. Well, I've got it figured out. Now I need to pick my head up and talk about it and like share the story. And that's really like our team has been talking a lot about that. How do we start to show up on the internet and tell our story? Now, even though we're 8 years in, like we're still new to people that have never seen us. So who cares?
But you know what's really cool about
and,
that? You know what's really cool about that though is those are like those sleeper companies where like they were quiet behind the scenes, making really good product. They got it dialed. They figured it out. They did this. And then all of a sudden they show up on the scene and they're almost unbeatable because it's like, all right, we have this. This is working. We have recognition in this. We are doing this. It's kind of like that Slate truck that's coming out, that electric truck. They've got it. Like that came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden it was like, hey, the new Slate's coming out. And it was like, what? Yeah. And then it's like, how was there no little story here, little story there? And then all of a sudden it was like, now it's like Slate. That could be you. You know what I mean? All of a sudden your product could just come out and they're like, oh, I didn't like, instead of coming out and be like, we offer one shirt, one crew neck, whatever. And it comes in black and white and navy and red. You're like, nah, dude, we have this and we can custom dye this and we can do this. And you know, oh, didn't you know so-and-so uses our products and whatever? And it's like, oh, all right, cool. Now you can start telling your story of like how you came to be and why you're doing what you're doing and everything else.
Yeah. I have to say this, it's off topic, but it's funny you bring up Slate. One of my employees asked me the other day, if you weren't doing this, where would you want to work? And I was like, honestly, the only company that interests me is Slate. I think that's so cool. And there's such a big opportunity there. And I'm very excited about it.
I've been researching them a lot. Like that, I think is my next vehicle. I think when they come out with it and they get it going, like I want a Slate.
I saw one the other day. I went to an event. One of our clients had an event with Slate, and they had the truck there. They're very cool. Oh,
yeah. I love that. I love that. Like I always love mini trucks, and I'm a proponent of like less is more kind of thing. So I'm stoked for like the base model of like crank windows, like no bells and whistles, no bullshit, and you know, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it's rad. I like the idea of getting the SUV where it's like, oh, it's summer. I can take the top off and I can whatever, and I can
change the color, whatever you want to do.
Do this. Oh, and I live in upstate New York. Like these panels aren't going to rust because they're composite, and this like, I'm just excited for it. I think it's cool.
And tying this back, they do great on content too. It's just like quick and dirty little things, even for like a big, well-funded company. It doesn't have to be all beautiful and polished. Like just that's not what that's not real.
But it also makes me trust them more. It makes me trust what they're doing and their methods. Like if everything was polished and like AI driven, I'd be like, I don't like this looks cool, but do I really trust them? Like, am I going to buy this truck and find out it's a giant piece of shit? Like, or I could watch these people who work there like making it and talking about why this works, or, oh, we are having trouble with the battery, but we got it figured out now. And then you can feel comfortable like, oh, cool. They did have shitty issues, but now it's figured out. Like, I'm not going to get hit with the shitty issues. Like,
that's again, I know I'm jumping around. You talk about the world of AI driven, like being human is like, I think that's the story we want to tell is like, we're not going to do AI photos. We're not going to pour plastic into a strainer and make polyester threads and like extrude your t-shirt. Like, it's going to be the way it always has been done. Cotton, real people in Detroit. Like, I think our content needs to match that. Like you're saying, we need to just get gritty, do what feels natural, show it like real, and not try to overthink it.
I think you're already on your way there with a rad story of how you guys came to be and what you're trying to do and just trying to make good products. And you're not trying to make a shirt to sell to the masses necessarily. You're on a path of quality, consistency. You know, you're even talking in a way that maybe you shouldn't be saying of like, you know, I don't want people to buy my shit and rebrand it because I'm too proud of it. You know what I mean? I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool to be like, I am fucking proud of what I made, and I made it here, and I'm using US products, and again, you even said it, like, I'm not doing it to be I'm USA made. You're just like, this makes sense for us. Like, I want to do it here. I want to do these things. So I don't know. From the outside looking in and meeting you, dude, I think you're doing the right thing, and I think you just need to fucking tell more people about it. So.
Thank you. Well, thank you for helping me tell more people about it here. And
yeah. Even if they can't buy it, fucking, it's a cool story.
Can I quickly tell the story of that I DM'd you like 4 years ago because I wanted to be on this show, and
dude,
it wasn't the right time, and then get a DM like, "Hey, you ready?" No, I'm ready. I appreciate it.
I don't know if I should talk about this or not, but there used to be other people involved in this show, and I wasn't always the one seeing things. So anyway, it was funny. Like, I came across you organically. I never saw that DM. I never, whatever. And, I saw your story. I can't remember what it was. It was a post or a reel or whatever it was. And I saw it and I was like, dude, I want to have these guys on. And then I went to message you, and you know, you message somebody and it comes up with a previous conversation. And I saw you said like, hey, you know, I'm interested, whatever. And that's when I was like, hey, are you ready? Like, cause I was going to be like, hey, I love your shit. I want to have you on the show. I want to talk about this. And then I saw a thing where it was just like, you know, hey, would love to talk to you guys or whatever. And then I was like, all right, well, fuck. So no, hey man, I don't know what happened there, but
no worries. I thought that was funny and worth mentioning. I opened up my phone to a DM. You ready?
yeah. No, dude, I'm
ready. I'm glad to be here. I really appreciate you.
I'm so glad you responded and got into it, because again, there are certain manufacturers and certain things that I want to talk about and ask questions. And the cool thing is I asked you probably like 2 or 3 questions where I was like, hey, you can say no, but you were like, nope, this is this. You went into it. So that's rad of you to like say the reality of what things are. So I do want to ask you though, before I get into like personal quick takes and whatever, is like, is there something about soft goods that most people wouldn't know about or wouldn't expect that would kind of set you apart from some of the other stuff?
I think people often buy our stuff and try it out because it's made in Detroit or it's made in USA, or it's like you said, people want to support me as a person or the team. And I think people are surprised that I think a lot of people in our world, at least in the Detroit area, people don't spend money on clothes the way they do in other parts of the country or the world. And I think people are surprised to get a 100% cotton sweatshirt that at the quality that it's at. And I don't want to say that just to toot our own horn, but like even my friends and family, they get it because they want to support me, and they're like, I'm going to spend a lot of money on this, but it's worth it. I want to support Josh.
But then they find out that they actually really like it.
Yeah, I think people just are surprised when you actually see the difference between a t-shirt that's not like a cheap blank, and it's actually like it costs $20. It's our wholesale on one of our t-shirts is $20 instead of $5. But it's actually better, and people are surprised by that. And it doesn't pill because there's no polyester, and so many blanks I have poly in them. And like, there's a lot of things that just surprise people that's not the reason they bought it, but it's the reason they'll buy the next 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right. which is not that we need to get into this all over again, but it's like, that's one of the things I use as a sales, I don't want to say tactic, but it's the reality, is like, I'll talk to certain customers. I'm like, well, what is your goal? Is your goal to just get shirts and give them to them and hope they wear it once and throw it in a drawer? Or is your goal to have this shirt have 9,000 impressions? You know what I mean? Like, I would much rather buy a shirt for $2 more, $3 more, whatever, if that's going to become that person, the end user's favorite shirt, where they're going to wear it all the time. And so many people are going to see that logo or name or design or whatever's on it 9,000 times. And then they pass it down to their kids or something later in life or whatever. Like, that's the goal for me. Like, if I was to start a clothing line, that would be my goal, is to have them want to wear that shirt over and over and over again. Not to buy a budget shirt where they wear it once or twice and then it's shrunk and doesn't fit. Or, you know what sucks the most, which people I think don't necessarily realize, is like, when you give them a shirt or it's from a clothing brand or something, and then you see on Instagram or you see them in real life and they're wearing it to like paint their house.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, that's the shit shirt that you wear that you don't care if it gets dirty. You know what I mean? Like, that's what sucks. And it's like, you're not that guy. You're not selling that shirt. You're selling a shirt that is a cut above the rest, where it's like, we're the shirt you wear. We're the shirt you wear when you get home and you put a new shirt on to go out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the shirt that they wear when they go to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And we tell people the same thing. Like, we sell to a lot of hotels, like I mentioned. And what I tell them is, you don't want, you have this premium experience, yet you're selling merch that's down here. It doesn't match up. If someone, you want someone to grab that shirt that's equal or better than the experience and make it their favorite sweatshirt, and every time they put it on, they remember their great experience they had at your hotel. Next time they're booking a vacation, they're coming back to your hotel, because they like it's such a subtle thing, but it works. Like, that's a real thing. Like you said, if their logo's on that, every single time you're reinforcing that good experience and that brand. And yeah, that's you hit the nail on the head with my sales pitch too.
Yeah. No, I agree with it. All right. Normally I would ask a shop hack. Do you have any kind of shop hack? I know you're in a different world, but do you have anything that you would equate to? Maybe something that would help a printer with the way, like you mentioned one that, like, it's not a shop hack, but like, that a lot of shirts that have polyester in them pill. Like, maybe not a lot of people realize that, you know, people come and they're like, well, I don't want a shirt that pills up a lot. It's like, well, stay away from garments that have X in them.
Yeah. Polyester pills. I don't know if this is a hack, but I'm going to go back to another one that I said I thought you were going to say. You just always have to think about your customer and everything you do, and reinforce that in your team. Like, your customer might be the other person on your team. Like, who are you passing your thing to next? And just always like take the step to make it easier for them, because it's just going to make them like you more and make it easier for them. And like, you know, if you have that throughout your entire shop, by the time that garment leaves and you're actually handing it off to the real customer, like, everything's going to be considered, and it's just going to be a better experience overall, and it's going to make life easier.
Right. Take the time to figure out what is actually needed and necessary, and not just make a product to make a product.
Yeah. Think about the other person that on the other end, whoever that is.
All right. This one you will have, which is greatest shop fail.
Oh boy. There's been a lot.
Everyone always says that, like, oh my God, where do I begin?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to go through their number of mistakes before stuff starts to click, right?
What's your biggest one?
I think something we struggle with a lot is shrinkage. Like, we try to pre-shrink every garment that goes out the door, whether it gets garment dyed or we garment wash it. We don't, at our price point, you can't have a garment be shrinking up. People expect it to be pre-shrunk and ready.
Okay. That being said, what is the process of actually pre-shrinking at a garment manufacturer level? Because a lot of things say, oh, it's pre-shrunk. Okay, what are they doing to pre-shrink it? Because a lot of times when people get shit, it shrinks again.
Yeah, and it will. Like, by the nature, cotton is a natural thing. It's a crop. It's not like polyester is literally plastic that's liquid plastic poured into like a spaghetti strainer and extruded. Like, that's how they make polyester for clothes. cotton changes. Every single lot shrinks differently than the one before it. Every lot of fabric we get in, we do a shrink test. The mill will tell us it's going to shrink 4% on the grain, 6% on the length, or across grain. We will cut a square, 10 by 10 square, throw it in the washer, dry it, and measure it. And that's our shrinkage results. We then, every single pattern that we cut, we add on 6%, 4%, and then so every cut is different shape, different size, because ultimately when it shrinks down, it should land at the same size. We use we have multiple home washers and dryers, and we just like hit it with some warm water and heat, and that way it's kind of set by the time the customer gets it, and it will still shrink if someone blasts it on high heat, but generally we get most of the shrinkage out in our process. Awesome. But our challenge is like, hey, we entered the shrinkage and someone flipped them the other day. They entered it in the wrong way, so 6% and 4% instead of 4 and 6. Or we use a pattern that had shrinkage built in, and then we added it on top. Like little things that just we don't have a process. I think most of our big mistakes have been simple mistakes. We just don't have a process to catch them. So we're trying to always go back and be better and implement the process that will keep them. So much of what we've done, I grew, it was myself, then it was myself and my cousin. Like it was very tribal knowledge. We remember it, we just do it. And as you scale, like you have to build in those processes. And all of our big mistakes have been from just like lack of process to catch those things before they happen.
But again, that's a growing company. And if you were to tell that story on a social scale or a YouTube video or something, people would understand the shrinkage, and they would understand that if they bought a soft goods shirt, that care went into it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, to me, it's boring. Like, it's
not boring. I'm telling you right now, it's fucking entertaining. Yeah. I'm just saying, even me in my industry and playing with t-shirts every single day, like, if my dad heard that story, he would know, okay, like this is why shirts shrink. This is why this happens. This is whatever. And then he knows going forward, okay, if I buy a shirt, maybe I shouldn't do high heat and hot water. Maybe I should read the instructions and see if I need to hang dry and turn it inside out or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Not that we need to get back into the social media talk.
No, but I message received. I hear you.
I'm just saying, do it, dude. I'm behind you.
I know. You're right.
All right, quick takes. What is the shirt that you have made or garment that you have made that you were the most proud of?
It is the sweatshirt that sells for $900. I think is the most beautiful thing on earth. It's a 16-ounce loop back French terry. It's all flat lock seamed. We do all flat lock stitching, which is very rare in fleece, especially in North America.
I'm going to ask you, what is a flat lock stitch?
It's a machine that a lot of like fleece, you'll have two pieces of fabric get sewn together, and then another machine comes up and sews over top of it, and there's like a bulky part on the side of the seam here. A flat lock is like one machine folds it, it cuts the fabric, and it sews 6 threads on top of it. It's like what you'd see on a pair of leggings, like Lululemon leggings would have a flat lock. It's very flat. It's normally used for athletic wear.
So there isn't that like bulky seam.
No bulk. It's perfectly flat and smooth. You would never feel the seam if you didn't feel the threads. We do that on all of our fleece. So they're really expensive machines. They're hard to learn, but that's like our thing. We make flat lock fleece really beautiful. So we take a great American fabric. It's heavy. It's beautiful. It washes. I've washed that thing a million times, and it's still just as nice. Just made in a really nice way. And yeah, it's a truly beautiful garment.
And it's not pilling like other hoodies.
Not pilling at all. Like these cotton, you can make it pill if you do certain things to it. Generally, it will not pill like polyester. Anything with polyester is going to pill.
I'm a big guy. Okay, like I have a lot of things that rub against other things. Like for me, when I wear a hoodie, I have pilling like crazy, like in the armpits and like, on the front, like the stomach area where the pockets are and like, different spots. And it's like, it would be nice to have a hoodie that wasn't covered in pilling on those areas.
Yeah. The first area I shouldn't even say that. Yeah, our garments will fail, like the fabric will blow out long before it will pill. Like just if you wear it over and over and over and over, that like the pilling is not going to happen unless you're like rubbing up against the wall nonstop and trying to make it pill.
Trying to make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I shouldn't say our garments will blow out.
No, you should say your garments will blow out from excessive use. Because people are wearing your shit all the time. Like, that's the goal. What you don't want to say is, oh, you wore that once or twice and it blew out. You're saying, hey, you wear this shit every day for 2 years, you might blow out an elbow or something.
Yeah, I've been wearing the same t-shirt that I made 8 years ago, like one of the first ones, and it's still holding up. The side seam's literally like, I didn't even finish it. I didn't know how to finish it. It's open and it's still holding up. Like, it's just, better inputs and better sewing, it is noticeable.
Perfect. If you could snap your fingers and change one major thing about your facility, what would it be?
I'd have a dye house.
You'd own it and then you'd have a dye house done.
Yeah, if it had to be in my facility, I'd have a dye house right here in the corner. And we would, instead of shipping stuff around the country, we would walk it back to the back, throw it in and dye it ourselves.
Is that your biggest bottleneck? Is sending it somewhere to get dyed?
I would say so. Yeah, we've gotten pretty good about all of the other challenge fabric. Well, no, the reason fabric is delayed is because we have to wait for it to get dyed. So yes, at the front end and the back end of our process, dyeing is the biggest bottleneck. If we could make every single garment,
which is why you went to buy your own.
Yeah, if we could make every single garment the exact same color and thread and just dye any color we want in the back of the space, like that would be a game changer.
Get it done, dude. What the hell are you doing?
I know I need to. And
no
then
pressure.
There's my content. There's my content. Every day, the struggle of figuring out how to build a dye house. That's interesting stuff, I bet.
I agree. I'd watch it every day. All right. Last question. Top 4 favorite movies of all time.
Oh, I knew this was coming and I tried to prepare. All time is Miracle. I played hockey growing up.
It's a great movie.
It's just, it's hockey and a good story, and it's true, and that gets me. I also, my childhood favorites were The Ringer and Rush Hour 2. So like different direction.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Still love those. And the fourth one is tricky.
I feel like there was talks of making another Rush Hour. I feel like Jackie Chan was talking about that.
They've talked about it a couple times. I'm still waiting. The last one came out when I was in 8th grade, and I went on a double date, and it was not good. I've been waiting to get a better one, another chance. Mm-hmm. I'm very into World War II history, books and movies. There's got to be
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, excellent. There's got to be. I don't know off the top of my head favorite. Yeah, we'll go with Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan fucking rules. That was my favorite for a really long time. The funny thing is I got the opportunity. They had, we're actually just talking about this today. How, have you ever gone to like a Fathom event where they like play old movies back in the theater?
No.
You can look them up. Like if you go to like fathomevents.com or whatever, a lot of times there's like anniversaries of movies and stuff. They'll play in a theater for like one day. They have one coming up that me and my daughter are going to go to, which is Jaws. It's like I don't know what year the anniversary it is or something. Like just being able to go to the theater with my daughter and watch Jaws on the big screen, like someone would have watched it when it first came out, fucking rules. And I got to do that like 2 or 3 years ago or something. I took like the whole shop and we went and saw Saving Private Ryan in the theater. And it was crazy. Like the D-Day, like beach scene and stuff in the theater was insane.
I can't imagine. I've never seen getting to see that on the big screen would be very different.
It ruled. It was so good. Me and Bill were talking about it today because I guess they're doing like all of Christopher Nolan's theme movies in August in IMAX. And I'm like, dude, we need to go see Interstellar in IMAX.
Yeah, like, that'd be very cool.
It'd be so good.
I want to, this is Shirt Show. It's been exciting to talk about shirts. This is all I thought about for the past 10 years of my life. So I always love getting to chat with somebody that I know cares about it as much as I do.
Hell yeah, dude. I would love to come
I want to send you some stuff too.
I would love that. Like in all honesty, I'm totally down to learn more. Hey, let's go to, where were you saying? Korea?
Yeah.
Let's go to
South
Korea, dude. Me and you, let's go. We'll go swimming in Korea. I'm down.
There's some content for the viewers.
For sure. Just me swimming in general is content for the viewers. I'm definitely down to like check out some of your stuff if you want to send it over to me. Also, like I would love to come to Detroit and see your place. Like I'm definitely down for that if you're open to it.
Definitely. Whenever you want to make the trip, we're here and always something good going on in the city. And in the meantime, I'll follow up with you offline. I'd love to just get you a shirt in hand and get your thoughts on which one is the perfect tee and any critiques you have.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you, dude. You had an awesome story. I'm glad you're doing this, and I'm excited to see what you're going to do next. And I'm more excited to see if you do anything with the social media channel. Now that we talked about it so extensively, and I'll get on there and I'll bust your balls if I don't see anything.
I got an accountability coach now.
I know you got a sponsor now to keep you on track.